Yo, what's going on? It's your man Rick the Dawn, and we are set to do battle against Minnesota. We are 5-0, and the goal, if you don't know, is to go the entire season along with the playoffs and then win a championship without ever losing. Oh my gosh, yeah. All right, let's jump into it. All right, so it looks like Minnesota starts off with a nice little score right there. I'm not gonna lie to you, I just want to have fun, man. I just want to see what's popping. Now, the last episode, we really balled out with Church, and believe it or not, I want to kind of continue that. I feel like Church is one of the best running backs I've ever had the opportunity to control. I'm just gonna try to showcase his talent in this video. Believe it or not, that's what I feel like doing. You know, I'm a huge fan of, when I play video games, I love to control the running back. But on the flip side, I literally have a quarterback that has been literally unstoppable, really. Wow, that was incredible. So, wow. I mean, I think that says everything I just said. All right, this is a beautiful play for a lot of reasons. I did not think this would go in for a touchdown. I thought that would be enough. Wow, that was incredible. So everything I just said about him being one of the greatest ever, I think I just kind of showed that a little bit. But heck of a way to start the game, definitely. Everybody's doing well, apparently. We've got the defense firing off. Robert Church doing what he always does. And then, of course, Clive, our new quarterback. Wow, a second consecutive stop by the defense is crazy. Now, what makes controlling this team so complex is that on the other side of Robert Church, I have Clive. And Clive is all but shown he's, as good as Danny Royal was. I'm surprised that wasn't picked off, actually. Now, is it me or is the defensive back playing my wide receiver extremely closely? I don't know. I feel like my wide receiver didn't have any space to move. All right, now this game I do want to stay on the ground a little bit more than I have the last few episodes. I'm just having this moment where I'm really appreciating how good of a running back Robert Church is. It's one thing to play this game and see him go off of these crazy runs, but it's another thing to allow other people to see it. So that's one of my favorite parts about playing this and recording my gameplay, just seeing people's reactions. And while some people don't react, they still watch, and I see the click totals go up. So that tells me they're seeing it. Seriously, the guy is incredible. I don't know if you caught that, but he just ran through 4 defenders as if they weren't there. They could have just been air. You wouldn't even know have noticed the difference. That was incredible. All right, so far this game is looking incredibly easy. Did not expect to be up this much this early, but there you have it. All right, a part of me wants to go to the air, but I think the smarter decision would be to run the ball and get that timer down a little bit. All right, that was crazy. Yo, Robert Church is the GOAT when it comes to running the ball back. All right, that was a great tackle by the defense. I was kind of a little confused there. I didn't know what they were trying to do. This should be a stiff arm. I'm going to go ahead and dive. I feel like I am definitely pushing it in terms of not diving. It's only a matter of time before I pay for that. Another good run here. Wow, that was almost crazy, but a second defender was able to kind of stop me. Here we go, y'all. It's time to go to the air. I want to show off the other side of this coin. Now, this is a double-headed problem for any defense that's opposing me. I'm going to go ahead and get down. I don't want to score with more than 30 seconds on the clock if I can help it. Now, just as I'm showing off with Robert Church, I can do the exact same thing with my quarterback. He is extremely accurate, extremely. Like many people thought when I threw the ball, it would go to the wrong player. If you watch that last sequence back, the last 2-point conversion, it went directly to the player. That is how accurate he is. I'm not even sure he's gotten a lot of interceptions this season, actually. All right. I believe I owe it to Clive to allow him to get off a little bit. I don't want him to fall too far behind because I'm focusing so much on Robert Church. So this sequence, I would like to highlight Mr. Clive, my quarterback. It'd be nice to get some nice, runs downfield, but we'll take what the defense gives us. Like this here. Great juke right there. I thought that was a good juke. And I'm ignoring Robert Church right now. I don't know if you can tell. There's a couple plays where I would have run the ball, but I do want to make sure I put some points on the board by throwing it. And you kind of get a 2-for-1 when you throw the ball to Robert Church. It's pretty good. Nice. All right, let's get back to that run game we were talking about. Nice. We're going to get back to the running game and see what we can do. I've seen this a lot lately. And you know what that is? Robert Church having big second halves. Like he has, for the most part, had really slow first halves. But when it comes to the second half, he goes off. I'm surprised that wasn't picked up, actually. All right, we're going back to the running game. All right, he's slowing down, and to me, that signifies that stamina-wise, he's starting to get a little tired. All right, we've run him into the defense like crazy. Essentially, just kept running him into a wall. So it's only right that he gets tired. But I think that's when I get my best runs from Robert Church. So even though he's kind of showing signs of fatigue, exactly, it's perfect timing, by the way. Like, even though he's showing signs of fatigue, I'm going to continue to run with him because that's when he pulls off his best runs because he looks tired, he's going slower, and for some reason, the defense just can't touch him. I've seen it more than enough times to know that was going to come up. I'm telling you, the best runs comes when he's tired. It's crazy. Like, that run was insane. All right, but I think at this point, it would be best and more advantageous to go into the air, but because I am trying to make a point, I'm going to stay on the ground. And I'm already up by, 12? So, kind of like, why just throwing the ball at this point? All right, that was a great throw right there. And here we go. We're up 20. All right, so safe to say we're going to win this game here. And we get a pick. Here we go. And enough is not being said about the wide receiving core that we have. We did lose some really strong wide receivers to start the season. But, seriously, my receiving core has been extremely good. All right, we're going to go through the air only because I feel like at this particular point, this game is pretty much over. So it'd be nice also if I can score here by throwing the ball and get the ball back and then run the clock out with Robert Church. That'd be a perfect ending for this game. Nice. To really go crazy for our last run. I'm going to go ahead and take this down, and let's see what they give us in terms of a play. That's a run to play, right? Whoa, okay. I think it's safe to say Robert Church is definitely tired. He never gets down or goes down that easily. He might actually fumble in this current state. Let's go to the end. All right, one cool thing about having a dual threat like that, if ever Robert Church gets tired, I can go straight to Clive and vice versa. All right, that was a huge win. We are firmly in first place in our conference, so no worries there, right? Let me see. I'm going to criticize the player. Why not? People all like often criticize me for always keeping my guys with low morale, but it just doesn't matter to me. Like as far as their health or the way they play, it never seems to make a difference to me. So I never prioritize it. All right, let's go ahead and increase the training regiment though. I feel like it's a little too low. Um, I do want to earn some points, some level up points. We got 2 first round picks next season. That's kind of insane actually. With a team that's already this good, having 2 first round picks is big. It's a big deal. All right, so heck of a game right there. I felt like that was just more evidence, right? More evidence that we have a strong team. Who we play against next? We go against San Francisco. You know what? Why not? I'm feeling spontaneous. I'll be honest with you. I kind of just need a moment in which I'm just kind of relaxing, playing some games, stuff like that. Not worrying about anything, just kind of chilling. I used to play games all the time growing up, and then life happened. This thing called being an adult happened. Going to college, having homework, and all this other stuff. And he's gone. He's gone. Great tackle. I'll give him that. All right, we're going very run heavy, and this is why, ladies and gents. I don't know how to use the trucking mechanic. Like, I just don't know how to use it. And it's crazy that, and I never thought this would be the case, by the way. Like, my team is a run-heavy team. Yeah, usually, if you've watched any of my gameplay videos, I'm really a pass-heavy player. But, when you have such a dynamic runner, like, you definitely just want to kind of test out your stick skills, if you will. All right, they're doing a good job of bottling up Robert Church. It seems like they keep getting behind my player, so they're doing a good job there. That was a terrible throw. Beautiful catch. And here I am. This is what happens when I win too much. I get bored, and I just challenge myself in the dumbest ways possible. I don't even think I got that. See, this is what happens when I win too much. I start doing silly stuff. But I'm okay with it because I kind of need a challenge. And guess what? You know what? I think I've gotten my wake-up call early. I'm not going to wait till I lose a game and jeopardize the entire season. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to wake up now. All right? Trust me. What you're seeing is just me getting tired of winning. So I'm like, I'm going to try something. I'm going to do something a little different. But I tell you at the same time, if I were to lose this game, it would absolutely just throw me off. I'd be like, oh my gosh, what an idiot. So we're going to go to the air for a minute. This is what I would normally do if one of my double threats wasn't really producing. Like, they did a good job. I think it's time to just give San Francisco a little credit, perhaps. That could have been a pick, by the way. I'm surprised it wasn't, actually. All right, this is definitely a bad spot to be in. Wow, Robert Church is getting bottled up. I think that's what I need to acknowledge. Like, he's just getting bottled up, dude. He's getting bottled up. So this is the perfect time to go to the air, actually. Because we need to score relatively quick and be able to get the ball back on the back end. I think that's what needs to happen. All right, we finally get on the board after a very slow start. So that's positive. That's good. All right, here we go, y'all. All right, they got a kick. I'm not sure that's good news for them. I'm going to get down a little early. I'm going to allow Robert Church to go crazy, I hope. Like I said, really slow game for him. And, of course, just as I started to kind of doubt his ability, he pulls out one of those runs, okay? So that's who I'm navigating. That's who I'm using, all right? That guy right there. But at the same time, he is getting bottled up. I think this is one of his more competitive games. So you can make the argument that he's not having some, his routine success. You can make that argument. All right, but we're going to stay on the ground because it allows me to control the clock a little better. But I am going to keep an eye out on Robert Church's stamina gauge. I don't know how to use the trucking mechanic. I have no idea how to use it. Do you release it when the opponent gets close by? Do you let it go or what? I have no idea. Do you hold on to it and just... All right, good job by the defense. Good job. I have to give credit where it's due. But here's their problem. I have a whole nother player who is high level, you know? So, yeah, you bottled up Robert Church. Good job for you. But then here comes Clive with, like, the arm of all arms, right? And he's, like, able to connect with ease. Shout out to the defense, though. I feel like San Francisco has challenged me in a way that I haven't been challenged in a minute, so. All right, that was okay. I feel like we were able to kind of rectify the turnover on downs. We've kind of like alleviated that problem, erased it, if you will, especially when you consider that play right there, the punt. All right, good job by the defense. And you know what? I'm going to accept the challenge. I feel like the challenge has been given, and it's time to accept it. What do I mean by that? This right here. Oh my gosh, how did I not keep? I should have stayed in bounds. I'm not sure how that happened. I was just so expecting him to stay in bounds. I wasn't even touching the screen. I was talking with my right hand, my play hand, off the screen. I just thought he was staying in bounds automatically. But as you can see, okay, if you're the defense, you've gone into this game and you're like, okay, I'm going to bottle up Robert Church, and they can't do anything. They're stuck. Then you start getting picked apart by Clive, and then you realize just how powerful this team is. In fact, I will make the argument that Clive is going to be the saving grace for this game because, yeah, they've done an effective job with actually stopping Robert Church. Now, stopping is subjective. It's a little overstated. How many yards do you think Robert Church is going to get at the end of this game? I'm predicting he'll still be able to clear the century mark. You know what's kind of funny? I always forget that I upload this gameplay content to my podcast, so y'all check out the Rick Thumb podcast. I can only imagine how this game sounds if you're not watching the actual video, you're just listening. Probably not a bad vibe, but I feel like Robert Church has slowed down so much that he is just begging to take a fumble to lose. All right, now this is where we. Oh no, we can't lose. We're not gonna lose. We're good. I was gonna say we have a potential to lose here, and I said that mainly because it was a fourth down. But I see that we are up, pretty substantially. We're up 7, a whole touchdown, so we're good. With the ball. Wow, and that was a beautiful run, and even better when you consider that I was able to split that one tackle. So I definitely think that Robert Church is going to clear 100 yards this game. I'm not sure how those two linemen missed that tackle. I feel like they were right there. They just didn't pull it off. All right, Robert Church is noticeably slower right now, but I feel like that's when he does his most damage because the defense is still moving at a super fast pace, and as you can see here, he's able to just kind of counter the movements of the defense better by moving slower. I don't know what I was thinking. I actually tried to charge into the defense. You can make the argument that was a dumb decision. The only thing that I'm a little apprehensive about with this win is that we may not get 40 points at least. I feel like our last few games have been 40-point plus games. Unless, one thing I can say, I do believe we're going to win this game. We are up 7. And I'm going to go ahead and go down. I'm not going to worry about scoring 40 points. It's not the biggest thing on my radar right now. If it happens, it happens. But I pretty much doubt it. I don't know how he stayed on his feet. Like that was confusing. I know he's good, but goodness gracious, that's crazy. All right, here we go, y'all. All right, I think this is a good time to challenge Clive. We only have 30 seconds on the clock. Let's see how fast, or how far rather, he can get down the field given the amount of time he has. I'm going to use all 3 timeouts. And, this is kind of a test to see how good is this team as far as going through the air. We know what they can do on the ground. We see that pretty obviously. But if I needed to score quickly, could this team get down the field with enough time to win the game? I'm gonna be honest with you. The answer is looking like yes. If I score, that'd be hilariously. There's no way, right? All right. It's funny because I'm literally right here in front of the touchdown. I'm not sure this is gonna be a touchdown, but wow, that's insane. Yo, this team is like super high powered, man. Like I was not supposed to get down here fast. And to my happiness, we were able to net 40 points that game. That's crazy. We are 7-0. Look, this season is far from finished. Wait, who is this? In which position does Sam McGowan? I don't have a clue. I'm gonna go with wide receiver. I was right. Yeah, we're not. This season is in the middle. Like we're nowhere near the end of the season. But wow, and Robert Church ran for 200. That's like double what I thought he was gonna do. Shout out to him, man. That's crazy. It's crazy. Let's go ahead and lower this training though. I don't want to incur any injuries from for my players at all. All right, we're going against Tampa Bay next. We're 7-0. They're 2-5. Yeah, man, y'all know what it is, man. We are balling out. I hope you enjoyed that little double feature right there. And I will see you in just a moment, and we'll take on Tampa Bay in hopes to go 8-0.